Let's do it.
Yo, we're back here at the We Art the World.
We Art the World. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Streaming from Hotel Ziggy here in Hollywood.
These are straight streams of consciousness right now.
So what's going on with your night, Dimitri? What's going on?
My night is pretty calm. I just finished some edits. I'm about to leave the Hotel Ziggy tomorrow to fly to Vegas.
So you're staying at the hotel?
I've been staying at the Hotel Ziggy since, I think, Monday.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. First time.
Oh, cool. What's your experience?
It's cool. When I checked in, it's very like California-like. I'd lived in Los Angeles before, so I know what Hollywood's like. But checking in here is like a very Hollywood-like hotel, different from like one next door or like the Edition a couple blocks down. They gave me 2 drink tickets when I when I checked in. That was fantastic because my room wasn't ready.
Yeah.
And so they gave me another extra 2 drink tickets.
Ooh.
And then my room was ready right after they'd given me 4 drink tickets. And so I was pretty calm checking into the Hotel Ziggy. Shout out to Hotel Ziggy.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
So you checked in on Tuesday?
I think Monday.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Where are you originally from?
New York.
Oh, cool.
I'm Puerto Rican though.
Puerto Rican.
Yeah, I'm Boricua.
Ah, so you speak Spanish and all that good stuff?
Claro.
All right, that's good stuff.
Where are you from? Ethnic background, like.
Oh, Mexican.
Mexican?
Yeah.
Cool,
Yeah.
sick ass fool.
Yeah, Mexican, Los Angeles, feeling chill, bro, right here at home,
At the Hotel Ziggy.
At the Hotel Ziggy, for sure. What about, there's a lot of Boricuas out in New York, so you feel at home.
Yeah, we're everywhere. Puerto Rico's like a commonwealth of the United States. It's like an extra state that, doesn't really get taken care of as much as the rest of the states.
Hey.
But it's,
Man, I can't wait to hear your story. So tell us a little bit about yourself. What's going on with you?
I'm on tour right now. I'm directing a tour documentary for Swedish House Mafia.
Ooh.
It's like a electronic dance music.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. If you know who Swedish House Mafia is.
Yeah.
No
sure.
introduction.
Yeah, no introduction for sure.
Yeah. They're sick. They're on a world tour right now. We're finishing the US leg. I guess over the next week or so. Next 2 weeks rather. The last show's in San Francisco on the 15th. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Cool. Now, we missed your first name or your hashtag.
Oh, yeah, no hashtags. My name's Dimitri Santaella.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So
how do we find you? Dimitri?
You can find me in real life. I'm a real life person. I don't do social media. I have Instagram. It's at p.s.y.o.p.s psyops with a bunch of periods in between all the letters. P.S. Yo, P.S.
Man, I feel bad just interrupting that.
No,
but that was like a long name.
That's perfect.
PS.
Find me in real life. I don't do social media.
Yeah, you said P.S.
P.S.Y. etc.
Okay.
Psyops with periods in between all the letters. Psyops, yeah, like a psychological operation.
Oof, dang.
Yeah.
That's pretty sick, bro.
Sick ass fool.
Yeah. I was just seeing you down there at the bar, chilling, in real life, like you mentioned. Fucking dope to see you, hanging out, bro.
Sit at the podcast. We got ring lights. We got mics. We got a GH5. No iPhone cables.
Oh yeah.
Shout out to Apple. They don't allow the same charging cables across all their devices.
Man, bro, that's not cool.
It's not cool. It's not cool at all.
Man, so tell me about your passion, what got you in this industry.
My passion is art and just making stuff that people can feel and appreciate and experience themselves.
Like what?
I paint, I design. I've used to coordinate events, working in advertising. Just it's obviously about being able to pair a brand or with their audience and making sure the products and advertising and everything makes sense per the demographic. So it's a lot of personalized work, making sure things fit. But yeah, I'm a storyteller naturally, so the video stuff comes from that space. So I'm doing a documentary right now. But I had worked in music prior. I mean, I work a lot with like musicians and artists, like in the studio, producing, writing with them, just doing like general art direction. But yeah, with the video stuff, it's more so about being able to tell stories, and that's what I'm doing right now.
Was that something that you did growing up, and you? I
grew up skateboarding, and so
cool.
skateboarding, you know, we'd throw ourselves down stairs and shit. So we would just like end up having to film it, you know, because it was crazy. No one would believe that, you know. 10 years old jumping down 12 stairs, you know. So it's started from there, and then transitioned to, I guess, being like part of the Instagram like photographer community that was essentially the first influencers on social media in terms of Instagram. You know, photographers were that, and so
that's true.
The Urban Explorer stuff took us all over the world, and just like meeting people everywhere, and then being able to just connect and, you know, see what the world had to offer. And then I just got into advertising from there, and that was it. Am I too close to the mic?
No, you're good, bro. Okay. Actually, I'm like, cool. I should be close.
Yeah, you're further. I wasn't sure.
No, I'm wondering if like New York has a big skateboarding community.
I mean, yeah, I New York City has like everything. New York City is the first in culture in the country, and in terms of like global reach. Skateboarding has obviously been integral to the foundation of New York City's history, especially culture. I mean, music is so influenced by skateboarding, and fashion, especially for the last, 20 years, 25, 30 years. Street fashion it's even reaching into high fashion now at this point. But the street culture, skateboarding, graffiti is what really influences the rest of, I guess, the practices, especially fashion, music.
Sorry, my naiveness. I'm just thinking like New York is quite crowded. So I was thinking maybe in my eyes, Los Angeles was more like of a skateboarding, capital of the world for me.
Well, I mean, sure.
Because of like the space and stuff.
Sure.
But New York is a little more compact.
I mean, when you look at the history, obviously skateboarding started here, in Venice and and fucking Long Beach and stuff like that. So, I mean, it's culturally rich place, but New York City is obviously, it's populated heavily, but it's more condensed space. Okay. So it's like the intersection between, skateboarding and high fashion culture, high art culture is like, it's a very small space. So it's like the intersections are all there. You're going to see the famous skateboarder, you're going to see the famous actor, the famous musician, all in the same corner.
Cool.
Yeah.
So you were skateboarding and like
started filming, started going to like abandoned places, like doing graffiti, and
cool.
Yeah.
That transitioned
into like going on rooftops.
Okay.
Which was like big in like early Instagram, 2014, 2015. And everyone around the world was doing like urban exploration. So you see people like climbing like cranes and like hanging their feet off the side of buildings. That was like the first influencers on Instagram. That was us. So that was all over the world, and we were able to connect, and it's just cool to still be connected with those people today.
Man, that's so dope. Man. So you still skateboard though?
Not as much as I used to. I surf and like snowboard way more.
You miss it?
No, it's like not forgiving on your body at all.
Ooh,
it's like I can't go as hard as I used to. I mean, I'll still like skate around New York City, like commute, but I'm not like jumping down stairs or anything like that. Like I'd rather skate like transition like a park or something. But surfing and snowboarding I spend way more time doing that.
Yeah, but you still expressing your art through your craft.
Sure. I mean, that's just like I grew up being a very active kid, so that was very much, an outlet to be able to move around and, do something creative, because like those sports or disciplines is all about like your style, and it's like your discipline and being able to put time into getting better. But it all just comes down to style. I think that's why those certain like subcultures have been able to influence such, higher, levels of culture, like fashion and art and stuff like that, because it just comes down to style, and the street culture dictates what happens on the higher levels, the upper echelons.
Yeah, everyone just catches up.
Yeah, I mean, everybody thinks that skateboarder is fucking cool. They think that graffiti artist is dope. I mean, you see all these high fashion brands splattering paint on their clothing, selling it for thousands of dollars, but there's like real artists like me that have paint on my clothes because I paint. might still be designer shit, but there wasn't paint on it before I wore it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
That's exciting.
I didn't plan to do a podcast today.
You were spending a few days here at the Hotel Ziggy.
Yeah, I was spending a few days at the Hotel Ziggy with my team, just editing, working with the artist. It was the first time they were able to see their show from like a third person perspective. And so we were working with the pyrotechnics guys and the laser guys, just making sure that the show is going to be a good show and timing's right and everything's perfect. So today's just been like a very much like a checking on how things are going kind of week and finishing out these videos, headed to the next shows.
Nice. Where you headed?
We're headed to Vegas tomorrow, and then it's like an arena show, I think at the T-Mobile Arena, right off the Strip, and then Saturday is a show at like Club Win, exactly. Sure. Yeah. And then we fly to San Diego on Sunday for another show at an arena that I don't remember what's the name. I'm not going to just guess.
Oh, for sure.
And then we're back here on Monday, and then we have a show on Friday in LA at this like open air stadium, so there's like should be really dope.
Oh, nice. So now that you're doing would you say that you're doing whatever you were dreaming with when you were a teenager?
What was I dreaming of?
Would you say? I don't know.
I would say in terms of like where I'm at, and I just remember being like 12 or 13 and seeing like them headlining Coachella on like my YouTube, you know, and they would like stream the Coachella dates, and I just remember like just seeing how and feeling how absurd this felt, just like how amazing it was cool to just be able to command an audience of, you know, 50,000 people or plus, you know. And I'd never been to a concert at that point, you know, like, so it was something that I was just like, wow, this is insane. And then fast forward, you know, 10 years later, I'm working with them, you know, and it's crazy because you know, they broke up maybe a year or two after I had seen those videos on YouTube, and so to be like a part of being able to, you know, piece back together their story and
that's cool.
Cement their legacy into the future is like it's bewildering. I mean, I remember the first show that I had seen, and I was just like, whoa, this is like 10, 12 years in the making of just, you know, I remember seeing them and just being like, whoa, this is impressive, to just like, whoa, I'm getting paid to be here. You know, it's pretty crazy.
Man. Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. It was one of those like full circle moments, but those things are always happening. I think, shooting Swedish House Mafia is not my dream, you know, but it's like the cultivation of all of these things that have led to being able to do this is, I am living my dream. I'm at a point right now where I've, especially the last couple of years, I've been able to see my future very clearly and like, I hate saying like manifest like it's easy, you know, because it takes work to do these kinds of things, but it's like a meeting opportunity, you know, and not being afraid of serendipity and like the synchronization of, you know, timing and being in the right place. And all of that was luck, you know, just being in the right place at the right time. I think now, I mean, coming from like an advertising background, understanding like the importance of strategy and just planning things, I'm at a point right now where I'm being a little bit more mindful of just planning things ahead and just, you know, setting timelines of, you know, goals or just like, you know, orders of operation. And so I think that's where my discipline comes in, because I've been able to get very far without a lot of planning and just being open to opportunity and just what can happen. And so, next chapter for me is just planning a little bit more and still being open to, you know, what can happen, because that's how I got here, you know.
Man, that's pretty cool. Now, like, you're a young man, you know, and do you feel that you can give, I mean, I would love for you to share some advice for some young people, you know, like coming out and being like,
I am young.
What's going on? Like,
I think it's, I mean, advice is just like a lot of like, you know, when I was younger, especially doing photography and like being so influenced by the internet and like my peers, you know, because we were doing urban exploration. So it was a lot of like, I need to go to the next tallest building. I need to go to this country because no one has posted there yet. And so I think it's a lot of not being so swayed by like what's happening around you, and more so being able to observe and assess like how that makes you feel and how that does inspire you. And then I'd say, I mean, you're never like without. And so I think a lot of people are like afraid to tune into themselves. And I think like mastery comes from being able to really tap into like what you got going. Cause like it was this thing where, you know, I was going like fucking country after country after country. I had no money, you know, but I was figuring it out, and I thought that I was like needed to go far away to see new things or experience new things, when in reality I'm at a point right now where it's like I know that wherever I'm at, something interesting is happening around me, and there's something, you know, useful to gain and something insightful in where you are. And I think people have this stress that it's like, or they have this idea that, you know, like in the future I want to be here, or in the future I'm going to be here, or because where I'm at right now I'm not going to be able to do X and Z and whatever. And I think that's a big misconception, because I think you're exactly where you need to be. And I think being able to just like trust your gut. I mean, that's very cliche, but just like trusting your intuition and that voice in your head that you might not have the confidence to be able to really speak out and, you know, listen to. I think that's super powerful. I mean, I haven't really had a mentor, but I've been very attentive to people before me and everyone that has been around me my whole life. And so it's very much just like a learning from a third person perspective, and understanding that like that voice in your head that's telling you that you're the shit is like is real, you know. And it's like you got to obviously put the work in to be there, but like that's always there, you know. I don't think there's nothing new under the sun and the moon, you know. I think it's just like getting back into where you came from and like, you know, what you've been like destined to do kind of shit. So I don't know, I'd trust your fucking intuition, and, you know, don't be afraid, and don't listen to nobody, but like listen to what they're saying, you know, but like don't get like stuck in people's like a lot of people are like they're very short-sighted about themselves, and they feel as though like things are just not possible or it might be too hard. And I think when you're around your friends and stuff like this, it's very easy to get into that kind of groove where it's like, you know, you like, they don't have that confidence, and so they kind of rub that shit off on you, and that's comfortable because, you know, your friends feel like they can't do certain things, you know. And so it's difficult when you feel as though, you know, you can do a lot, and you're around people that, you know, don't feel that way about themselves. And so it's like they almost make it difficult for you to really feel how you really feel.
Yeah,
you know,
that's
and
interesting.
don't allow people around you to fucking dictate where you can go just because they don't have that energy inside them, you know, like.
Man,
and if you really got it, you can inspire them, you know, but don't let those people fucking bring you back, because that's like, you know, this is your world, you know, you're letting fucking other people that don't believe in themselves dictate that, and that's whack. So young kids, you know, just pay attention to what's going on, but don't like, you're not of that, you know. You can just you can look at it, you can see what it is, and you can learn from it and do your own thing, and you'll be straight.
Man, that's deep, bro. That's deep. Yeah, you know, because it's true.
Yeah,
you get stuck on that circle, and you feel that, you know, you're trying to look good with them, and then you don't realize you're letting yourself go.
It's because you're like sacrificing, you know, how you really feel for other people's, like, you know, comfortability. And that's obviously, we want to be able to feel comfortable around the people we care about, but it's like, it's about, you know, uplifting each other. It's not about just being comfortable with how things are, because like not everyone's born into, you know, the genetic lottery or the fucking family that's got a lot of money, you know, and opportunity and stuff like that. So it's like you should be aspiring to reach more. And obviously it's about being like content with what you have, but like knowing what you have, because like all of this material shit is not real. Like, you know, even external successes and these trophies and these awards and all these things, they're not actually real, you know. There's a lot of politics in that, and it's like, I wouldn't say like be so satisfied with like what you got, you know, but like know that what you got is enough, and you don't really need any of that all that other stuff is just extra, you know. And it's like you could live without it, and like when you got it, still don't mean anything, you know. It's about being able to like satisfy that inner drive and doing stuff that makes you feel like, you know, what you're doing is valid, and what you know, your existence is meaningful, you know. And I think that's about community, and I think it's about sharing your experiences and doing things you love with people you love, and not everyone can do that. And I'm very community oriented, so it's a lot of, you know, being able to bring my people with me and be able to facilitate opportunities and learn from each other. Because the reason I'm able to do what I'm able to do is because I was able to learn from the people that I surrounded myself with. And I think, you know, I've been able to inspire confidence in them, as well as, you know, whatever skill set they could learn from me, they've learned it, you know. And so I think it's it's a give and take. I think as like a newcomer in any industry, you feel like you have nothing to offer because you aspire to be on a certain like level, or you have like a certain like aptitude, you know, in terms of your taste. It's like, and that might intimidate you to do things that like, you know, it may intimidate you to even try things because you feel like, you know, you trying something is not going to meet your expectations of your taste level. But I think when you're like looking for opportunity and you're reaching out to people for opportunity, it's a matter of offering. It's like, you know, I can just relate it to just like when I was younger and being like a photographer, like shooting concerts and stuff like this. But it's like, you know, you want to shoot like this concert with your favorite artist or whatever, and you want to be like in the photo pit, or, you know, if you're lucky, you could be backstage, but these artists don't need your fucking picture. There's already, you know, 1,000 other kids that want to take their picture as well. I think coming from like the advertising space and being very stubborn and not ever growing up having somebody to ask for help, or, you know, just being able to ask for advice or anything like this, I was always very stubborn with just like, I got to figure it out myself, you know. And when you work in advertising and you see that like all these things that are possible, like all these budgets, all of these, you know, opportunities that are, you know, are given to agencies or individuals or artists, is because you're able to pitch an idea. And like the real magic is being able to, you know, here's my idea and here's how I can execute it. Now give me your money, you know, because it makes their job easier. And it's the same thing for like, you know, that young photographer that wants to shoot the concert. And like, you know, the artist, the management, they have nothing to gain from your photos, you know, but it's like a matter of being able to relate that. It's being able to just trick them and manipulate them into thinking they're getting value from you being on board, instead of you taking value from them bringing you on board, you know. I mean, there's a lot of people that they got that fucked up, you know. It's like they think like, I need to ask, and it's like, well, what can you do for somebody, you know? And it's not a matter of like, oh, you don't have value, but it's just like, it's just a little finesse in your verbiage. It's just like being able to understand. It's like, okay, relative to everyone else in the space, I'm doing the same thing. So it's like, how can I tweak it? How can I make it more personalized for what I'm doing? You know, because if it's truly your favorite artist, you might have a couple fucking ideas of how you can, you know, contribute to that. Otherwise, you just want like photos of, you know, the next popping artist for your social media account, you know, and that was like very short-sighted for I think a lot of people when, you know, my colleagues and I and the people I came up with were shooting artists. It was very much, you know, so.
It's interesting. Like you mentioned the community. I want to know more about that. What does community mean to you?
I'm communist, right? No, community means to me, I think, I mean, I just like, I don't believe that there's like, I don't believe that age always like equals is wisdom. And I don't think that these things always equal expectation, because I think a lot of people aren't really paying attention to their life. They're just like going through it, or, you know, struggling through it and not really flowing through it. And so I think it's I think it's a matter of being able to surround yourself with people, whatever like level that they are on or you're on, and being able to find common ground and influence each other to contribute to the general, you know. I mean, it depends like what your community is, right? Community can be anything. It can be like on like a micro level, just like, you know, this is my neighborhood. Yeah. And so it's like, here's how we facilitate having like an effective and a healthy neighborhood. But then it's like, it could be your football team. It could be, you know, your music label. It could be, you know, your advertising agency. So I think community is just a matter of being able to cultivate a space where everyone feels comfortable enough to express what they want and what they want to accomplish. And I think being able to facilitate that for each other. And I think that comes to like shared resources and shared insight. And I think that's what like a lot of Web3 is about.
Okay.
Just like relating it back to advertising, because I mean, decentralized community platforms are so much about, you know, aligning yourself with people that share the same. I mean, the future is about aligning yourself with people that share the same moral values as you. Okay. And, you know, whatever discipline that is that, you know, everyone might do, whether, you know, you're an architect or, you know, I'm a music producer, I'm like a horticulture specialist or something like this. I think it's just a matter of aligning yourself with people that, you know, you vibe with, and then like whatever is possible from there, you know, comes from there, whether that's like, you know, sharing resources and their monetary resources or space. I think space is a big thing for community.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, because like, you know, not everyone has ideas, so it's like you can't just throw money at people just because they need money, you know. But it's like I said, it's like when you have an idea and you have a plan to execute it, you more than likely you're gonna get that bag because, you know, you have like a plan. And so I think when it comes to communities, the space is integral initially because it allows literally
Everyone.
space for people
Yeah.
to be able to congregate and figure out what it is they want to do. And I think luxury brands are learning that. I think music labels are learning that, and social media is obviously learning that because, I mean, social media has been very divisive in separating people and being able to ostracize people that have seemingly radical, you know, opinions, and they try to isolate them on each side of, you know, the world, or I guess each side of the spectrum. And so
that's like the new stuff of social media because it all started kind of giving you your own space, but nowadays
MySpace.
Yeah. It used to be like
literally it used to be MySpace,
where you had actually a more independent, unique voice, and now it's like what you said. It's divisive.
I mean, it's just divisive because it's not even so much as like everyone had a unique voice at one point, but it's just like everyone now has the ability to be able to say something.
Yeah.
And everyone is so quick to want to say something because it makes them feel as though they have a place in this world to say something.
Yeah.
And most people don't they don't know what the fuck they're talking about, but they just want to speak and hear themselves. And so I think it's like social media has allowed people to like live and exist in their own echo chambers.
Yeah.
And like, obviously if you have a platform, your echo chamber is a lot bigger in certain spaces and other people will feed into that. And I think obviously the future of, like, I mean, I said this again, I say this all the time, but like I said, it's the future is being able to just curate the pocket or the chamber that you want to live in, you know. And if that that like chamber is progressive and it's filled with people that are, you know, innovative and care about, you know, social consciousness and just like the state of, you know, being human and staying human, I think that, you know, that group or demographic of people are going to be better off. Because I mean, we're getting to a point where obviously like AI and tech is getting to like an optimized level where it's optimizing like very, I wouldn't say easy jobs, but just like jobs that people have been normally, you know, human powered, or just they're becoming obsolete. And so I think the future is about, you know, I think everyone in the future is going to be an artist. And I don't mean that in a way that everyone's going to be a painter or a designer or a music producer or something like this. But I think it's going to be a matter of that everyone is, you know, God willing, right? Everyone is going to be able to have the ability to be able to create the world that they want to live in and the spaces that they want to be able to, you know, be in.
That's cool.
You know, I think that obviously that takes leaders cultivating community, and it takes mentorship, and it takes, you know, sharing resources, like I said, space. And if that comes to like a financial resources kind of thing, I mean, this is about like education. This is about, I would say like, yeah, I mean, just like reprogramming motherfuckers and letting like people got to be deprogrammed. And like, you know, it's scary to experience like something that contradicts like what you see as like, you know, like a cornerstone in your belief system. And I think it's a lot of it is cool. I think a lot of people need to just, you know, let go of what they think, you know, really defines them, and just be open to, you know, the natural laws and the truths of this world that we're living in, because this shit's it's a dark place. You know, and
gotta make it light, bro.
Yeah, you gotta be the light in the dark, you know, and you can't be afraid of that shit, because people try to douse your flame, and everyone's gonna, you know, it's like a moth to a flame. Everyone's gonna want to go to your light, you know, and you can't be afraid to just light up, because, you know, you're afraid that there might be, you know, some consequences to that. And I think the future, it takes like, you know, you have to be fearless, and you have to be willing to sacrifice whatever it is to for the betterment of, you know, us, because it's a very selfish place. You know, we're at the peak capitalism space right now, and I think it's, like I said, it's like about really surrounding yourself with people that fucking, you know, they believe in the same things and are willing to sacrifice and share, you know, because real leaders are, you know, they're willing to sacrifice and share with their people, so their people can feel like them. You know, it's about inspiring change and not shitting on people that, you know, don't feel the way you feel. Yeah, do graffiti. I won't tell you what I write. But that's like that's another another extension of what I do, and I think that's a liberty that I really appreciate and want to be able to maintain and take care of, because it's just like another aspect of myself that is not being I'd say attributed to who people think I am.
Oh, okay.
So it's cool.
Keep it on the down low, bro.
Yeah, I mean, I'm over here vandalizing shit, and like leaving my mark everywhere. So you could follow me everywhere that I go, because I'm leaving my mark everywhere. And if you know, you know.
But you wouldn't know.
If you know, you know, and if not, it might resonate with you, and maybe you'll care about it, and maybe one day you'll know. I mean, it's important. I think people should talk about the shit they actually care about. It's not so much about me; it's about us,
Exactly, the community. Yeah, exactly.
Human race.
Yep.
It's about the fucking humans. Keep it human. Keep it real. Like, I mean, that sounds cliche, but it's like Web3 and virtual reality and augmented reality is getting to a place where, I believe, like, I don't know if cameras are on me, but we've been running like, parallel, like virtual world and the regular world has been running very parallel to each other. And we're at a point right now where we're about to, really cross paths and really just reach other sides of the spectrum and really ostracize and really just separate, where the line is between virtual and reality, or virtual reality and like, real existential life. And I think it takes artists and people that are mindful of, the power of technology and the importance of staying a real person to be able to make the connection between both sides, because they're getting to a point where they're going to be so polar opposite that the other side's not going to be able to see the other side.
Oh, damn.
Don't you think motherfuckers are going to have Oculus headsets and be living virtual lives and buying virtual food for their avatars and virtual clothes for their avatars, while probably forgetting to pay their rent? And then there's going to be people that, are cultivating community and, educating people on how to sustain, human life and feed themselves and, do things that, feed the soul. And those are going to be so far away from each other that, it's going to take artists and people that, like I said, can make the connection between the two to be able to hopefully, make the connection across the, the board, because it's going to be very different. We've been moving parallel, and it's getting to the point where we're going to go like that.
Man, that's some deep fucking shit you're talking about, bro. Dang. Technology, the world coming together. Fucking A, bro. Yeah. Just crossing paths and going the opposite way, right?
Yeah.
Woo. So, I mean, it's going to take a lot of work to connect these folks who are on this technology.
They're too plugged in.
They're too plugged in, brother.
You know?
I mean, imagine all these teenagers and whoever is on there. It's so hard to get them off the video games. And now imagine this whole new virtual reality and stuff. What's your thoughts on that?
I think that the kids are smarter than you think they are.
Okay.
And I think
we could get them to the parks and out? What's it going to take?
I mean, I'm not going to, this is a very bleak argument. I think it's going to take a lot of work, obviously, but I think the kids are very smart.